Um, I didn't cover this because when you talk about history, it's so vast. You know, take one person's life book. Say they were 50 years of age. Okay, codify that in codes, in visual information codes, mathematically. Okay, and then play that hologram. Now that's just one lifetime for one being. Now, if you want to throw the horse in there, okay, and everything else that is a living cellular organism, throw all that in there. Okay, roll what it would be like the tree. The tree is experiencing what it's like to be a tree. Okay, roll that. Roll that film. Okay, everything that your tree experienced, just being a tree, sitting in that particular spot. I used to do this all the time, right? A tree's sitting there, right? It's growing, it's aware, it's a mirror. And so imagine, like when I was in the Redwood Grove and I realized this one tree that I was standing next to that was like there before, uh, what was it? Jesus Christ was born, something like that. And I thought, wow, you've been there a long time, buddy boy. You've seen a lot. You've experienced a lot. Imagine how many winters, how many summers, how many springs, how many falls, how many people have walked by you, how many flies have flown by you. Everything that's been all around you, you get to experience. Wow, talk about experience. Imagine what the tree has to communicate to you with its experience over its lifetime. Now, if you want, you could include every rock, every little tiny crystal, right? That's a lot of visual information data, isn't it? All being experienced, and that's where the Andromeda, the mentor, was mentioning to Alex. Remember Alex? Wasn't his name Alex? I know the face. He does have a very beautiful way that the energy unfolds out of his heart and his soul when he communicates, because he has a very peaceful way about the way he communicates. You know, and that's what's beautiful to experience, because if you think of that as an essence of a being who's communicating, you can experience the peaceful nature of that spirit or that soul. So you sort of realize this would probably be a beautiful being to have within your community, make some really positive things happen, because you're experiencing positive energy, right? Yeah, positive energy, the positive use of energy. So the chances are, if you're using your energy in a positive way, you're probably going to experience a positive future, a positive timeline, your next experience, right? Whatever that is. So when you're free to experience whatever you want, imagine you're actually free. I mean, really free. So this is why when I read the Declaration of Independence, I realized I had to throw everything out. And so you wouldn't know that until you looked at the Camel's Eye Treaty. And particularly if you go to Project Ascension, Patty Broussard and my clan mother pretty much highlighted. And of course, my clan mother knows the history of all this very well, okay? I don't deal with a lot of the history stuff because I rotate and circulate so many libraries, and so much of it I want to dump anyway, right? I'd rather not know that history, because any history that represents a war doesn't represent what love is, which is what I am. So why would I want to keep that in memory? Who wants to experience that in the past? I'd rather experience what love is right now, that goes on forever, so that every experience that I have is what love is. The law of least effort, right? And so, it's all about moving pictures, right? Clockwork Angels, circadian rhythm, the beat, tuning into the waves, listening, feeling the music with the goddess, feeling her waves, feeling her waves, feeling her waves, riding the waves. Tunnel riders, the spirit is riding the tunnels. The spirit is in that light, riding those tunnels. That's why I love to ride tunnels out in those waves, particularly at Pole Holly and out there on the island of Kauai and in Newport Beach and all the places that I have, particularly down here on the Big Island where the energy is so powerful being in that water. So you know the company that you keep. And so things are moving very fast. Absolutely. Um, when I was a teenager, and I know I've shared this before, it's like imagine that you're a crook, okay? Your criminal mind. So it's much like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Hey, man, we got away. We got away. We lost that posse. And I watched a recent episode with Star Wars that started out with a badass, what looks like a badass Jason Bourne super soldier type, who's a bounty hunter, right? So this is what was actually very painful for me when I realized through Patty Broussard, for example, when she mentioned that this particular seeded race essentially has a target on it, a perpetual target on its back, because of the nature of what it does with its energy, that it's aware of what it does with its awareness, which is its energy, that others now experience the impact and the use of their energy. And she said that in another galaxy, they were hunted down and killed on the spot, which is sort of like what I remember with Steve McQueen, what is it, wanted dead or alive, which simply meant, we'll take it either way, but save us the energy to have to feed it, to put it in jail when we're going to kill it anyway. That's what she was saying. And that it was under investigation who created them, right? Because I thought to myself, if I am what love is, it goes on forever. And what it is that I create is what love is, because it experiences that love through me. And that there is a species that doesn't have the ability to experience the one, which is what I am that goes on forever. Then you realize it's going to be impossible if it doesn't have any possibility to experience what love is, even though I am what love is, and it can translate the energy as a signal, right? But when it's time to harm me, when I'm trying to love it, then you realize the situation. How is it possible for that being to ever experience everything that love creates if it's going to destroy everything that we do create in order to control more of what it doesn't love in its own manner? That's a zero-sum game. It means that at some point there are going to be enough good guys that are all going to come together and eradicate, as Patty said one time, eradicate them. Right? So in their mind, that's what they want to do with us. But it's the opposite, which means we're inverted, because it began with us. It began with what love is. So, in that case, then love has more energy. Or you lose all your light. So that's a lot of fire. So you know how fire works, right? The spirit of fire. So when that much fire is there and then they become aware of it, then they realize, hey, it's over. It really is over. Right? Because it simply means that the universe wants to move on and rise above that and get rid of what doesn't serve us any longer. Because enough beings that represent wherever we find life and living spirit do not want to experience war anymore. That's a collective. That means that they're on board the first engine, the love vibration that goes on forever. That's the one. Okay? That means they honor the law. That means they honor the highest superconductor code, the highest gene code. That means they honor the spirit of fire that's in creation, the spark. Spark that lit the first fire. Yeah. So, water worlds, the living spirit in the water, fire water. Thank you all for being here. I love you all.